Welcome to the third and final showdown between Ben Hall and Cabe Bond on Ben Versus, the first ever episode of Ben Versus. As each week, Ben will take on an opponent to see who knows more about football for that particular topic. And you just heard the first two. Now we're going to go to our third and final topic. And we're going to go to the best ever SWAC quarterbacks of all time. And I think each of us has a different opinion on this, but I'm going to let y'all two really gut it out here. So, really the SWAC, very historic in terms of college football and all the future Hall of Famers they produce and all the national championships, the Hall of Fame coaches. But y'all get to decide who the greatest SWAC quarterback or HBCU quarterback is of all time. So, Ben, you go first. You have a minute to give out who is the best HBCU SWAC quarterback of all time.
I'm gonna go on something that some people might find odd or because of some of the historical, but I think he was a very gifted quarterback at winning, and that is Eric Randall that played at Southern University. Coach Randall, he won an HBCU national championship there. I think it might have actually been 2 HBCU national championships, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but he was consistently a winner there. I mean, he consistently at Southern, he won. And when it comes down to one thing as a quarterback, it's not really about all the stats, and those are fun and dandy. But if you win, that's what quarterback is. Winning is everything when it comes down to quarterback. And Coach Eric Randall consistently won year in, year out as a starting quarterback for Southern University.
Good guess and good call. And I know Marcus and Eric's going to be very happy to hear that you got Eric Randall as the best HBCU SWAC quarterback of all time. Now, Cabe, you have a different opinion on the topic at hand. Who is the best HBCU quarterback of all time?
So I have to go, even though I don't like siding with Grambling over Southern, normally like Southern more, Human Jukebox, I'm a big fan, but I'm going to have to side with Grambling. Got a bunch of friends, Graham fan friends. Got to go with Doug Williams. Let's just talk about his 1977 season. Just to put that into perspective, Lester Hayes was using Stickum in 1977. That's how long ago this was. Yet, Doug Williams in college threw for 3,200 passing yards, 38 touchdowns, and 18 interceptions. In 1977, 5 years after my dad was born, fourth in Heisman voting. I mean, this is out of Grambling State. He was a revolutionary quarterback who did phenomenal in the NFL and was a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, brought the Commanders a championship. He, in my opinion, is the best SWAC quarterback of all time.
Well, there's a third one I think y'all forgot about. I mean, I know we mentioned Southern, we mentioned Grambling, but let's give some love to Alcorn State, right? I mean, Steve McNair, right? He was in the Heisman Trophy conversation, right? 4-time SWAC Player of the Year, was an NFL MVP with Peyton Manning, led the Titans all the way to the Super Bowl. You got to go with Air, right? Steve Air McNair. So he would have definitely been mine, but two really good options for y'all as well. So now that I got a chance to really hear each other out, I mean, you picking Eric Randall and you picking as well Doug Williams. Now y'all get a chance to disagree with each other. So Ben, why isn't it Doug Williams not the best quarterback of all time in the SWAC?
Well, I mean, I played football and I coached football and I grew up around football. I agree on things. But what's good is your opinion of one thing of facts or non-facts don't really matter. So me picking Eric Randall is by my opinion, and my opinion is I just think he was a winner. He is. A lot of people don't know this. You know, Coach Randall. He consistently did stuff efficient, and when he played the position, and that's something very hard to teach a quarterback. And I've been around him on the coaching side of things, and he's a very gifted coach too. But I've always he threw one of the best deep go routes, fade routes I've ever seen. His drop was as smooth as any guy I've ever seen, and I will just always be a fan of Eric Randall. And I don't really care what the opinion is of fans.
There you go, sticking with it. That's what Ben is definitely doing with Eric Randall. Now, Cabe, why isn't it Eric Randall as the best SWAC quarterback of all time?
Well, I'm just going to start by saying this. Eric Randall, he never played in the NFL. I think if you're going to judge best quarterbacks of all time, and you don't even make it to the professional level, that person can't be in the conversation. Then let's talk about winning. Doug Williams led the Commanders to a Super Bowl win. He was Super Bowl MVP. That means he was the reason they won. He is what you want in a quarterback. Someone who's able to go out there. He can throw for 20 touchdowns in a season. This is 1979 that I'm talking about here, so different era of football. But he can throw the rock as good as anyone else and lead his team to a victory in the most important game of the season on the biggest stage in the world. I mean, he is the best SWAC quarterback because he has everything you want in a quarterback.
Well, he might not have been NFL MVP, though, and that was Steve McNair. So Steve McNair was awarded NFL Most Valuable Player and is in the Tennessee Titans Ring of Honor. So he went on to have a pretty good NFL career there. But good sources of debate, guys. Now, y'all get a chance for a final argument. So you have 2 minutes, the most time you have. So this is why you have to convince the fans to vote for you. So 2 minutes on the clock. Ben, why is Eric Randall the best SWAC quarterback of all time?
Well, I'm not really worried because we have a lot of LSU fans that follow us. Well, let's think about this. Eric Randall is brothers with Marcus Randall, who is very famous for LSU football because of the Bluegrass Miracle Throw, one of the most famous of all time in college football history. So I'm not really worried about that. So if it's common sense, I think we need to think about that. The other flip side of things is, Eric Randall, he was a very special quarterback. I mean, I really would tell a fan, if you like watching football or you like watching a quarterback's old school quarterback, we saw Terry Bradshaw style and those guys, that's what Eric Randall was like. He was very unique. He was very smooth. You can't find that very often. But the one thing about Eric Randall, we keep forgetting, you said something, Jason, makes the most sense. The best HBCU quarterback. So are we talking about winning, or are we talking about how cool you are on draft day? Now, I respect it. I mean, when you get drafted in the National Football League, kind of a big deal. But Eric Randall won. Winning is everything. If you don't win, then what does it matter? And when it comes down to it, he was a winner. And so let's just remember, we got a lot of LSU fans that follow us, and Eric Randall's related to Marcus Randall, so I'm not really worried about this now.
Yeah, getting the LSU fan base involved with the Southern fan base. That's an interesting plug you got there, Ben. But that's a good point you made. You're not talking about success in the NFL. The best HBCU, best SWAC quarterback, and Eric did accomplish a whole lot, led the team to a national championship, so 2 national championships as well. So, yeah, we'll go with Cabe 2, and Cabe, you have 2 minutes to defend Doug Williams, the first African-American quarterback to win the Super Bowl, so pretty good ones to defend. So you got 2 minutes why Doug Williams, to convince fans why Doug Williams is the greatest HBCU quarterback of all time.
So I just want to start by addressing the Steve McNair thing. Sure, he won an NFL MVP, but what did he win? Nothing. I mean, the Titans still don't have a Super Bowl win. So, talking about winning, you can't really put him in that conversation, can you? Let's talk about Doug Williams now. In a game against the Denver Broncos, great defense, John Elway led. He outperformed a multiple MVP winner, John Elway. John Elway finished that game with 14 completions on 38 attempts, 257 yards, 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions, and 5 sacks. Doug Williams had 18 completions on 29 attempts, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and 1 sack. I want to talk about something else about Doug Williams. As far as evading the sack goes, he was one of the best quarterbacks to do so. I mean, before his time at 6'4", 220, he was mobile in the pocket, able to evade and make plays. He created the brand of football that is for extending plays, for being able to change the entire trajectory of a game, where if an edge rusher is continuously beating an offensive lineman, he was able to take him out of the game and extend the plays to create something new, which made him pretty much unable to stop against the Denver Broncos. That's why Doug Williams, to me, is the best SWAC quarterback of all time.
So there you have it. You had really two really good options right there. Eric Randall and then, of course, Doug Williams. Steve McNair, I mean, I have to defend my guy as well. I mean, he was pretty dominant in both. He was dominant in college, was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy, 4-time SWAC Player of the Year, and then he was pretty good in the NFL. MVP, 3-time Pro Bowl selection, All-Pro. So he got it done in college and the NFL. That's all I got to say there. But it's not what y'all think about Steve McNair. It's what y'all think about these two, because that's who y'all vote on, right? So Ben, once again, went with Eric Randall, Southern. So we have a little Southern versus Grambling here. And then Cabe went with Doug Williams, first African-American to win a Super Bowl quarterback, leading the Commanders to a Super Bowl trophy. So what is it? Is it Ben? Is it Cabe? Is it Eric Randall? Is it Doug Williams? Is it Southern? Is it Grambling? Y'all decide. Y'all get the vote. Who won the debate between Ben and Cabe? Y'all vote. Y'all decide.